Ladies and gents, girls and boys, welcome to season 13 of the Tilton Talk Show. And tonight we obviously start with the worst news possible ever, and that's the sad passing of what was my childhood hero, and I'm sure many of us older supporters' childhood heroes as well. So, Trevor Francis, I don't know. I went to St Andrews yesterday and stood in amongst the scarves and the shirts and the messages. And I ain't joking, just sobbed my heart out.
Easily done, yeah. I don't think you're alone, Nick. I think a lot were the same.
Yeah, I popped up a couple of days after with my dad on the Thursday night, and my dad was just heartbroken. And for us younger ones who don't remember him as a player, we just remember him as a manager. It's still, an icon like that. It doesn't matter whether you've seen him play or not. It's just part of growing up. Part of being a Blues fan.
Drove up the Coventry Road, turned into the Tilton Road, and then back into the Cop because there was parking space. I didn't know whether we would be able to or not. And I just remembered my dad taking me up there in '73, holding my hand. All the shout out houses, the bus stop over the road, Kingston Bingo Hall, and of course Trevor played in that first game as well.
Yeah, certainly.
You know what? I was at work. Sorry, I was at work when I found out. I just went, no. Everybody come like running to see what was wrong, and part of your whole fabric of growing up and your love for the football club. And I had a black jacket which I'd embroidered, Bo Brumley, that one there, similar to that one. And then Trevor and Francis down me back like that. And I embroidered it myself because, he was just such an icon. He was the king. Born as the king of Birmingham. Just like, I'm like everybody else. I'm completely and utterly sideswiped, I'll be honest with you. And I know everybody has got the same emotions because he was just Birmingham City. And unfortunately, around these parts, because I live in the East Midlands, it was all about Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
However, that's not to detract away the service that man gave to our football club, the times that he played for us, managed us. And, an absolute icon of the game.
Yeah.
Scored a header to win the European Cup for Forest. And I was going mad when he did it. I was so cheering because I was so happy that he reached that goal that he couldn't quite reach with us. And under Browne Clough managed to score the winning goal for European trophy. Well done, Trevor. Ladies and gentlemen, Trevor Francis.
Yeah.
Legend.
Never forgotten.
As I said, it is the Tilton Talk Show now, sponsored by Small Affordable Cars of Tamworth. They are mass Birmingham City fans. Small Affordable Cars of Tamworth. And we're looking forward to promoting them, and having Blue Noses on board again is an important part of what we do as well. Definitely. Introducing you to the team tonight. I know it's been a sad one, but look, you know what? We've got to not wallow in that sadness, and even though it's so huge, we're going to move on. We're going to move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we have to.
Introducing you to the team tonight, the one and only, the one and she's still working, the one and only Chris Browne.
Good evening. Please tell me if my mic's okay. Thank you very much.
It's better than it was earlier, Chris. Definitely.
Good.
And we have got the chairman of the board, the one and only Mr. Watto.
Good evening, everybody. Yes, very sad times. Very sad times.
Again, I appreciate the fact that Trev came back and managed the club, yeah. So that the younger people got to know him as well, but to see the incredible magic of that man's 2 feet on a football field, which he didn't have the joys of the light balls that they've got now and the smooth pitches, which are like snooker tables. It was mud, guts, blood, and thunder, and he could play through anything and through anybody. And I was just watching some of his goals over the last few days, Alan, and wow, oh my God, what would he be worth today?
Most definitely.
Impossible to tell. But the 3 words, Trevor Francis dead, just I can't get my head around that. But those 3 words, when I see a picture of him, I sort of think, oh, it's a picture of Trevor. And then I think, they're telling me this guy no longer exists. And it's so, well, it's just unbelievable. You think of all the people who played against or with or whatever, and they're all fit as fiddle. And he was a superstar. He was super quick, super fit. And he's gone. 69 years of age, no age. Just breaks my heart, to be honest.
It's been akin, Alan, to losing a family member.
Yeah.
It has, yes. But it's
like say an auntie or an uncle or something like that. Somebody that we can all relate to, something that we were all close to.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got go on, sorry.
I was going to say, my written weekly, I'm going to dedicate it solely to Trevor, and I'm going to try to tell some of the stories that don't get repeated, like when he drew 7,500 people to a reserve game when he came back after injury and things like that.
Yeah, I was there.
He played for Plymouth Boys against Birmingham Boys, and Plymouth won 6-0, and he got 5 of them. That's how we got to know about him before anybody else, funny enough, and those sort of things. And he didn't win 2 Cup winners' medals because he didn't play in the second one. He might have been given a medal on the side, but he didn't play in the second one because he was injured. Yeah. And he only played 70 games for Forest, played 290 for us over 10 years.
Incredible.
Anyway, I'm hugging. Introduce Mark.
We have
Marks. The Marks brothers.
Welcome back to the road.
Hello, everybody.
Well done.
You all okay?
Coventry? How's Coventry tonight?
Yeah, it's there.
Great.
Background.
It looks like concrete, and he's looking at the bars.
Here he is. Bully boy himself.
We all thought you were going to come in like, with smoke and curtains and, rising out onto the stage, either that or coming up out of the floor, you know what I mean? But,
I know, I'm saving that for next week.
How are you, Craig C?
Not too bad, thank you, and welcome back, everyone. Sad times, as we've mentioned, but huge positives to to go on to talk about shortly. I just want to quash a few rumours as well, just to let everybody know. Claire isn't joining us tonight. She has been sacked. If you want to find out, you look her up in Coventry Prison. But in all seriousness, she is on her hollybobs and will be back with us next week, no doubt tanned and sprightly, or hungover and still got the same colours she went with.
Yeah.
There's on a Jolly Bob's having a few drinky poos.
Yeah. So basically, Craig, this is the B team, as I was saying earlier.
Yeah, she's only gone Skegness.
Yeah. This show's for the people who could be asked to, turn up.
Yeah. It's all right getting your dates mixed up, isn't it?
Oh yes. Nick wanted to come on last week.
Sent Chris a message last week. Go on, mate, where's the link? I can't find it anyway. It's not on till next week.
You've had a great game to talk about, Nick. You should have joined.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, listen, ladies and gents, I was down at St Andrews yesterday. I was going to take my drone up, and I've got a drone now, by the way, boys and girls. No. I was going to take my drone up and photograph the Trevor, but when I got there, I was emotionally destroyed. I said to Sharon, I said, "No, you know what? I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. No." I believe they've taken the artifacts down today.
Yes,
so
yeah.
But what an amazing gesture from the club to bring those great big wreaths out. That was just beautiful. Well done, Birmingham City. Yeah. Right, we've got an awful lot to talk about tonight.
Yeah.
And we're not going to start, obviously, with the game. I can see that the Cop is a complete and utter building site. It's a building site, guys. We got to see through the door yesterday, and there's no way that Shaz could have gone in for a Waz. She was gagging and desperate. So we went into Birmingham City Centre and into the ball ring for an hour and a half. And I got charged £8.50 for parking the car and £8 for the clean air. £16.50, a complete and utter filthy robbery. It's robbery.
You shouldn't have an old car, should you? You should upgrade your car so that you don't have to pay when you go in the clean air zone like
there most
is no
clean air. There was tens of thousands of cars in that city centre yesterday.
I know, yeah. It is disgusting, yeah.
Clean air. It's just another stealth tax.
It's clean inside.
Councils and the likes. Horrible, filthy people. Anyway, there's a lot of work going on at St Andrews, and it's nice to see that they've been giving us the updates. But I think the man in the most knowledge is going to be Craig to talk about the new ownership, the new investment, and one thing and another, and everything good that has started to happen. Now, I feel like I've been robbed of the last 12 years since 2011. I really feel like I have been stolen from, right, by the ownership of Birmingham City Football Club, because nothing stands out in that time for me personally that is an achievement. Craig, can you update us on A, what has been happening over the summer months, and B, what is expected?
Well, I suppose the main thing over the summer break is the fact that we've totally and utterly made Mark Meredith's day, week, month, year, past 10 years, in fact, probably close 45 years that he's been alive.
Yeah. We forgot that Mark was here.
I'm here. I forgot to introduce Mark. Marky Meredith, sorry, buddy. Sorry, mate. No, you're good. Say, oi, what about me? What about me? What about me? I'm over here.
There you go. Even get a fanfare.
But no, obviously, lots has happened. The incoming of Mr. Wagner, which we covered on our special show, but since then, the work happening at the stadium. So there are pictures in circulation not only from the club but also from those people that have been inside to show obviously the rail seating all in coming together now. The bottom half of the Tilton looking pretty much in a position ready for those remaining rail seats to get into place. Footers in the area across the Cop are also in place, so it's looking great. For me, one of the most standout areas, the main stand. I mean, what a difference to look at a picture and actually see blue seats instead of those that are all totally faded and in line with the rest of the stadium. And I believe that they are the we've reused the seats that we had in the Tilton, so they haven't gone to waste. So actually it's a great thing from the club there. Then we had the amazing news of Mr. Brady joining last week, which I think it's fair to say when we all heard Tom Wagner was coming and the rumours of Tom Brady, everyone was like, no chance, it will never happen. It's Birmingham City, these things do not occur. And, last week was just the awesome piece of news that it was probably icing on the cake, actually, of everything that's gone on. Looking forward to seeing his involvement. I believe that he's due to be there on Saturday, along with I know Mr. Wagner is there Saturday, so it'd be great for us to gain a result against what, for me, actually watching them on TV, but was a pretty mediocre Leeds side, to be honest. But again, was the first game of the season, so you never take that for granted. But yeah, the reinvigoration of the whole of St Andrews, their promise that we will go to the ground and have a totally different experience is certainly coming to life. I mean, the front of the Kop, going from having the pictures, they all disappeared and everybody was panicking. But actually, when I was down there last week, the work to put the blue bannering around the stadium side, the lettering going up, is something that we've been crying out for years. The redevelopment of the whole of the interior of the Kop, there was a leak, so some of that work had to be done anyhow. But they've completely gutted areas inside there, and that's going to be a different experience when people enter the stadium themselves. And not just that, but already the messages that we're getting. We had that big video with Tom Wagner when he took over. We've then had Gary's message himself last week, which it's just positive upon positive upon positive. And, we've got to be honest with ourselves. We can't get too excited. Yes, things are progressing. Things are going on the positive side for the club. But let's not get, beyond ourselves. I don't think we'll go and run away with a league. I think we will, in all honesty...
Hope you're wrong.
Mid-table. I hope I'm wrong. But I think we'll finish mid-table. But for me, mid-table is a positive. It's a development. And this is, as they've said, a journey, a big journey that everybody's got to go on. We need the fans to return in their droves. Yeah. Saturday, we'll see a sellout in available seats at St Andrews, which is brilliant. Something we haven't seen or heard of for a long time. When those bottom tiers are open, I'm sure we'll get more people through the doors.
Yeah,
highest number of season ticket holders
Craig,
before we go into games.
Craig, how quickly do you think the investors will want a return on their investment?
Well, I mean, to be honest, though, it's not going to be an instant thing. I think it's fair to say they've took on and they've wiped out the debt that was in place. Mm. But if we get more people through the door, and I mean, this is the key. We need more people through the door to bring in more revenue. The more revenue that comes in, the more interest then we can spend on players. The advertising and just purely being, for me, a club that's involved with Tom Brady is a huge sales opportunity, not only here, but, as Mark will know, out in the States, everybody knows his name. You look at social media and that shows you the fact that the club have just over 100,000 people following them on some of the accounts. But then you go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tom Brady's got 14 million. So this guy is huge, and that's where the money's going to come in. I also feel as though it's sponsorship opportunities. So I still think we're yet to hear more from the club. I don't think they're finished. I think there's going to be something that will come out of the woodwork that we're not expecting. Another Brady type of investor or person coming in. But I think it's fair to say it's probably a 3-year plan, to get us back to where we want to be. If we can do it inside that, happy days. I'll be honest, I don't want to do it inside that period of time. And the reason is I don't want to give the Chinese ownership that were at the club any more money than what they've had, because they never gave us anything. Yeah. So in return...
They did. They gave us heartache. They gave us pain. They gave us sorrows.
Yeah, and
Nick, Craig, what's the standing now for people who don't know or even understand regarding the directorship of Birmingham City?
So Tom Wagner is now our head honcho. He has brought in Gary Cook as our CEO, and we obviously have seen Tom Brady coming in as a director, looking at like the nutrition side of things, but also for me the best part ever, how we make sure we maintain fitness in our players and making sure that after injuries they can get back into the things. I mean, for those people that watched him play at his age, he has the body of probably a player that was, Mark, 10 years younger than where he was, and he still stood out.
Yeah. Was he 45 when he was playing? Something ridiculous.
45 when he finished his season.
That's crazy.
And they reckon he was the equivalent of a 35-year-old in most sports because of the way he looked after himself. And ultimately, his regimes and what he followed. And, you know, if there's one thing he can bring to the club, it's just that.
Or do you think he emulated me?
Well, Nick, I can't get over the fact you're 101 this year, so you're doing really, really well.
Looks good.
Yeah. Can't get over the fact that what?
101, mate, 101. You know, you've only got 4 years to catch up to Auntie Linda. So
7 to catch up with Chris. 23 to catch up with you. 47 to catch up with Watto.
But I think overall, when you talk about
my love child.
Investments in the club.
Which Mark?
Yeah, which Mark? Well, definitely not you, mate.
It's not me. It's not me, I'm telling you.
But overall, I think we'll start seeing returns in the club pretty quickly in terms of that additional revenue coming through the door with just the footfall alone. And if they do continue to work on that fan experience, and we you know, even get a small percentage of what you get when you're out in the States, then it's just going to be huge. And the main areas I think they will target will be the youngsters. You know, the likes of myself, Mark, you know, Watto, we're already there. We've already committed. We're already signed into it. You know what I mean? We're there for life. It doesn't matter. Whereas those people we lost during COVID and that additional support that has not come back, or even not come at all because of what's happened.
Not just COVID, though, it was the poor managing and running of the club.
I'm not talking about
on field. I'm not talking about on field. I'm talking about off field. Yeah. It was a disgraceful way in which our club was managed.
I mean, let's not forget the one thing, though, and this one thing I won't take away from it all is, yes, we've got new owners, and they didn't treat the club with the best of their heart. However, they also kept us going. So, as much as everybody has said good riddance, goodbye, and today that finally has happened because Birmingham Sports Holdings Limited doesn't exist anymore. It has now gone off the stock exchange.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, you know, we still owe them a little bit for keeping us around and going as a club. But moving forwards, we've got some great people that are going to take us an awful long way. And I can't wait to go on this journey now. You know, I just want that. I want the fans to stick with them. And as Gary Cook said last week, it's a journey. This is a marathon. This isn't a sprint. So therefore, we're going to have good times. We're going to have bad. And we may start off with more bad than good. But we've got to settle. We've got to get stable. And then we move on.
Well, I can't wait. Like I say, I can't wait for Saturday because I'm like a little kid at Christmas again.
I can't. I'm buzzing already.
Buzzing. My season ticket came today. Can I just say, they look so classy, the boxes of them.
Oh, they're superb.
Yeah.
You know, I've got mine here, actually. There you go.
Yeah.
28 years for me, this one.
Oh, thanks for the number, Mark. I've just took a picture so I can now get into the stadium.
As well.
No, but seriously, yeah, it's just little things like that. You know, it's just touches of class along the way. And, I just cannot wait. You know, I feel sorry for those who would perhaps like to go but can't afford it maybe, or have got other commitments. Because I know, I must say, on social media, there's a lot of people saying, go out and buy a season ticket. Yeah. But it's not that easy for a lot of people. No. As we're all excited, we're the lucky ones, we can get to go. But there's a hell of a lot of people who would love to go. And it's still an expensive game. So,
you know.
On that, Mark, little segue. put in now, we have joined forces with our friends at the Birmingham City Australian Supporters Group.
Yeah.
And they have, over the past couple of years, been selling their own merchandise, both here and out in Australia. And with those funds this year, they have purchased an adult and a child season ticket in the Arthurs area that has been put and donated towards ourselves for any games when there are no visitors from the Australian supporters group. So we will have the opportunity to get people, you know, and this is families at the end of the day. This is what we want to do. We want to bring the adults and the kids back together, and we have that opportunity starting with this Saturday's game, which obviously is a sellout. However, we do have 2 tickets. So I'll be putting some details up shortly of how you can get a chance to win those. And, you know, it's through nominations, same as what we did last year. We'd love to hear why you would want to send somebody down that ground.
Craig, you know they're going to be like gold dust. You know that, Craig, don't you?
Indeed. I've already seen people begging for tickets for Saturday.
Yeah. And how long have we waited?
Facebook, I need my friends coming. They're coming from America. They want to come down the ground. Can we get tickets?
How long have we waited for something like that to happen, where people are begging tickets? When did that happen?
Any member of the team envisage, let's go for, say, 5 years down the line, you know, is this reminiscent of what happened to Manchester City a few years ago?
Oh, we all want to make that comparison, don't we?
But listen, bro, what I've said, Craig, for a very long time, right? There is not a football team called London, right? Birmingham, the second biggest city in the United Kingdom, right? And of course, there is a Birmingham in Alabama as well, in America,
South Africa.
And the name Birmingham and the city and the what you can do with that within America, massive country, billions of people there. This could be ginormous. This could be bigger than I could have ever imagined. It could be. I'm not saying it's going to be, but it's got the potential to absolutely explode.
It certainly has.
To be honest, Nick, the last time it felt this surreal was that split second at Wembley when Obafemi scored. It's that kind of surrealness. It's just like
I can't stop. I can't stop having goosebumps, mate, all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a guy who he's the producer on Radio WM. He's a guy that I speak to very, you know, whenever I'm on. Name's Warren, top guy. And in fact, for those that haven't heard it, there's a great piece that I recorded with him that went out the other day. But he's a massive Man City fan. And he was chatting with friends and colleagues who are also City fans. And they actually turned around and said, what's it like to be in Birmingham at the moment? Because this is a comparison to what happened to us. And they are already saying that if things take off, that it could be as big as them. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'd absolutely love it to be. I really would. However, we were in a much worse position than they were. Say again, Nick.
You've got to keep your feet on the ground.
Yeah, we've got to stay grounded. And I mean, Mr. Meredith, you're out in the States. You're, you know, I suppose different for us. We're surrounded by it at the moment. But what's it been like for yourself to hear? I mean, I've seen it all over the press the day it was announced. It was all over American news. There was the Tom Brady video, which was out obviously here in the early hours in the morning for yourselves. What's it been like?
Oh, it was crazy from day one, you know, Fox News, ESPN. You know, for me, I've been here 10 years this year. And, you know, if I was to say Birmingham City or wear a Birmingham City jersey anywhere, wouldn't really know who Birmingham were, or people would go, oh, yeah, that's the team in the championship or whatever. But it was never really, you know, this is the big club. Over the last week, it's Birmingham City everything, you know, the news channels, the social medias. And the crazy thing is, like, my son now can wear his Birmingham kit to school, and people will start recognizing, you know, oh, wow. I think, you know, it happened to Wrexham a little bit, obviously, when Reynolds and them took over and they bought, you know, the TV shows and stuff out. But as you guys probably know, and I certainly know here, Tom Brady's one of the biggest sports guys ever, and will always be, NFL Hall of Famer, obviously. So everybody knows Tom. He's got, like you said, 14, 15 million followers from all over the world. So for him to be tweeting out during our games as well, congratulating Dembele from scoring, talking about the result and stuff like that. It's craziness and surreal, really. I joked with you guys about it being Christmas Day last week because I've followed Tom for over 18 years. I've been, lucky enough to see him play live numerous occasions, seen him win Super Bowls and everything like that. But the fact that he's now a part of my club is just unreal.
Tom Brady, you could kind of put him in sporting terms alongside Pele, Muhammad Ali, people like that who have been at the absolute top of their game.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
I'll never be a better footballer than Tom Brady.
A world-known name at Birmingham City Football Club.
I've got to be
honest. Birmingham City. And that's the bit that I can't believe. No. Here they go again. Look, here they go.
And the crazy thing is that he's TB12 franchise. He's massive in the nutritional sports science world. He's got books, he's got, clothing ranges and everything like that. And he's at the top of his game, not just as an athlete, but actually as a trainer in the sports science. And so I'm more excited about that. The fact that he can feed that information into our sports science team for the players and stuff is just unreal. So, yeah, there's a lot to come from him, I think. And I think just the PA side of it, and the marketing side of it is massive, but, even his knowledge and everything like that. And he was honest on his video. He says he's got so much to learn about the English football.
Yeah.
But he
actually said it right. That's the best part.
Yeah.
I was sold on him as soon as he said football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As you can see from my T-shirt, Tom likes winning, it says. We love Tom. So hopefully he'll continue to win and bring some success to us.
That was actually what I said both on WM and also on the interview with ITV, was he has that never say die attitude, and actually that epitomises Birmingham City. When I think about sort of the players that have been at the club that had that sort of attitude, so you start off thinking about the likes of Mark Ward, who would never give up, never wanted to lose. Robbie Savage being the same, and we've been crying out for a long time to have somebody that's not necessarily on the pitch, but a focal point that has that same attitude. And that to me, it's just, I can just see it now, giving a speech to the youngsters, and he's not necessarily going to go and preach to the first team or even to the 21s, but just those youngsters. Imagine it, the first time they get to meet him at the training ground, they could go, oh my God, you'll never ever forget it. It's going to be huge just from that factor, and I really, really can't wait. And I will say there's similar sorts of messages on the message board at the moment. It's gone a bit mental, but I have been keeping tabs on certain things. There's a certain Claire Giblin that has sent a message from herself in Benidorm to say, don't worry, she's locked up, she's all nice and safe, and I hope we have a great show.
Claire's skeggy, really. Come on.
Lights out in a minute.
She can't be sober.
That was brutal.
There's, people saying about trying to get tickets and they can't get them. We've got Paul McCarthy, mentioned it already, but obviously BSHL have changed the name. So actually they no longer hold Birmingham in their rights, in their contacts at all. However, they are still 51% shareholders. So let's not forget that. We've had questions around Tom Brady has been named, obviously, as a minority investor, but does anybody know what his actual involvement will be? And hopefully we've just covered off those areas. He's going to have multiple, I think, involvements.
I'm hoping he's going to be a financer.
And then obviously the other thing is the fact, it's worth noting that, as Kevin Kelly said, can you imagine if we managed to get the NFL superstar GOAT into a coaching role with his skills and methods that are evident from the NFL. What could he bring to the club? And it's, again, that's what we're talking about.
I mean,
it's not about
can there be a crossover like that? Mark, you're probably the best to answer for that.
I think you'll find it tough to go in there and try and coach, obviously, our football. But I think from how well respected he is, and I'm sure he's respected by just the players as much as he's respected by us as fans. Mm-hmm. Just listening to him and following his mentality on different things around football is going to be a big help. He's not going in there and going to be head coach and try and coach the game. Everybody knows that. But his mentality in winning, his experiences, and his level of fitness, expertise, and stuff like that, I think it's amazing. I think it can only help us, really.
Mind you, I bet our marketing department are rubbing their hands to the crossover. I mean, we're going to probably have Blues American football jerseys and literally American footballs with the Blues badge on.
It's already gone crazy. People are already saying about it. Especially we got Undefeated as well, which is another American brand, obviously sponsoring us. So that's gone crazy here as well. And the fact that I can go to the store now in Vegas and buy a Birmingham jersey is crazy. You'd never get it anywhere. You'd never be able to get it anywhere in the States before. So just those things have changed a whole lot.
Let's not forget pre-season next year, Mark. We're all going to be
the house is open.
We're going to be in America.
I've got room for 4, so there's 5 of you on the show, right?
Yeah. Have to fight it out.
Mark can't come because his passport won't allow him into the country. You can't come in with a record to the States.
I've only got that commentary, mate.
He's done.
I've been banished.
That counts most of you out then.
Yeah, that's true.
Did anybody see the interview that they gave on Bloomberg? And Bloomberg is a financial.
Yes, I did.
Oh, yeah.
I did.
Brilliant. And I'm sitting there, my mouth.
Yeah, same as me.
Here.
What's going on here?
It was, the guy kept saying, why this club? Why this time? Why this? Why that? Why the other? And they answered the questions, but you could see on their faces that they were saying to him, we know what we're doing. It's not a wild punt at something. We know what we're doing, and this will be a success. Now, what success means on a financial program, it may not be the same as a sports program, but being a successful financial institute can't be a bad thing, can it?
No. I thought it was
fascinating. They kind of go hand in hand, though, Alan, don't they?
Yes, of course they do.
Success obviously breeds success, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if you've got financial success, you can get sporting success. I mean, again, I'll go back to the Manchester City kind of scenario. A lot of investment. I know they're up against the Premier League on this, that and the other at the moment, and one thing and another. But that kind of investment brings success.
We won't have that kind of investment into our club at this present moment.
Of course not. No,
of course not. No.
Yeah. We've got to earn it. But the one thing that was said, it was one of the very first words that he came out with when he made his statements, when back end of last season, and then when the takeover took place, was we are not just here for a football club, but we are here for what is a growing second city. And the fact that they are community comes out so many times as the words being used. Family, city, the involvement of everyone tells me straight away that these guys aren't here just to run a football club. They want to be the biggest and best that they can. And they have an opportunity to do that with, for me, an endless fan base. There are people out there that haven't been for years, but won't come back, not because they don't want to, but because they won't come back until their seat is available. But once those seats are in the Cop and in the Tilton, we're going to see people come back. And that's the draw. That for them is the main thing, his community ethic is just superb. And if they do You know, if they follow through on their plans and they make it this community-based area that everybody wants to come to, that the fan experience is one that you never forget, then we are going to get to the bigger levels and we are going to be able to progress. But again, I just reiterate, it's got to build.
Also, you then just look, like you said earlier, the main stand has now got blue seats. The whole of the seating area inside St Andrews, and I know there's still work to do, is going to be blue and white for the first time in its life. That's change, right? We all have to adapt to change, and we all want change for the better, without a doubt, because we have just been trodden on. And I am so glad that this Wagner guys, and they're not Chinese barbers, right, who have come in with laundered money. These are genuine people who have an interest in our football club, our little football club up the Coventry Road there, yeah, and they have an interest in building, right? Now, you never, ever, ever build a house from the chimney stack downwards. You have to start at the foundations, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Some of the comments on the boards, you know, I couldn't agree with these more. Kevin Kelly, Wagner loves the city itself, and it's so diverse with its demographics. Birmingham is going to be an exciting place, and the fact that we have the youngest and most diverse population will help. David Taylor, these guys know exactly what they need to do to be successful. And most importantly, they get us as fans. Like, lots more to be revealed in time, and that is the thing for me.
And for us as fans, right, I have not had a smile on my face for 11 years as a Birmingham City supporter. Yeah, you know, you beat Stoke or you beat this. I had to mention Stoke a little bit, right? And yeah, you feel good for a day or so, but there is nothing that has lifted my spirits as much as what is going on now for donkey's years, mate, for donkey's years. And I'm sad that I'm 61 years old now, born on Christmas Day. I didn't never mention it before, but it is coming, ladies and gentlemen. It is coming. But I'm sad that, you know, at my age, I probably won't see the fruits of the loins, so to speak, you know, the finished product.
Do you know something we don't know then?
Maybe.
Are you investing, Nick? Have you pulled that pension forward? Are you going for it? Have you put that £1.50 in, Nick?
Took a suicide pill or something?
I have, yeah.
Nick, I'm a bit older than you, but
how old are you, Alan?
I'm 72 now.
Right, okay, so you got 11 years on me, yeah.
It makes you want to get up in the morning again. Yeah, makes you want to live longer.
I know, yeah, I do know. But what I'm saying is, for people like us who have been going since the 60s and the 70s, are not going to see the best of the good times for our football club, which I'm sure are just around the corner.
Probably not, but don't you feel like I do? That I want to stick around as long as I can to see as much of this as I can.
Mate, I'm telling you now, I got to St Andrews on Sunday, right? And yeah, the letterings are all missing off the front and the flags are all ripped and this, that and the other. But I still had that lump in my heart and I still had that tear in my eye. The fact that I remember the day that my dad took me, you know, up that Coventry Road. I'll never forget that day. I can remember it so vividly. And that altered my whole life. My whole life was altered on that one day.
Haven't we both of us lived in this sort of dour state for 10 years now?
Well, we all have.
11, 12, yeah.
And thinking it will never change, but it has.
We used to laugh at the scumbags up the road. We used to laugh at the scumbags up the road when they were in Division 3, if you remember. Yeah?
Yeah.
And I hope and pray everything goes right, because like we've had so many kicks and knocks that we're battered and bruised and we hurt, right? And we've got to get over that now. And these guys seem to be rubbing the ointment in the right places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mind you, I get the feeling. I get the feeling that these guys are so well endowed with knowledge of success.
They're clever.
They're going to not take any bullshit from the EFL. This is Birmingham City you're talking to, pal. You know, and yes, we'll stick to the rules, but you don't start laying things on us that we don't deserve, and we'll make sure that we never give you an excuse to lay anything on us. They're bigger than that. Yeah. They ooze quality and success. You've only got to listen that interview on Bloomberg blew my head away. This smart, clever financial bloke asking questions, and he was put down. You know, we know what we're doing. We're going to be successful. Yeah. You know, if you want to join the ride, you're welcome.
Yeah, Mark Adams.
And you're thinking, do you want to come in? Convince me.
Yeah. I was just going to touch upon the absolute outpouring of jealousy and bitterness from fans all over the place. It's been so sweet seeing their reactions.
Yeah,
it's just you just have to chuckle because it's just pure jealousy. That's all. There's the only way to describe it.
It's also daft though, Mark. You know, they should be on the journey with us. You know, everybody wants the second city to be up there.
Well, when you think about it, Craig, Mark, we've been trodden on by all these people for donkey's years. Birmingham City.
Of course,
now
we've always been the joke club.
There's a turnaround.
Yeah.
And the turnaround is that these people who have laughed at us for such a long time are now sitting up and thinking, "Jeez, what's going on here?" Huh?
That's it.
Okay.
You know what? As well, I think like for me, I'm not obviously there in Birmingham, and I don't get to see the game. I watch the games on TV, but I don't get to see them at the stadium and stuff. But I think even going into Saturday, and we'll come on to Saturday's game in a little bit, I'm sure. But even going into that game away at Swansea, you know, I think last year you probably look, even though I know we won there last year, but you look at it in doom and gloom that you're going to an away game start of the season. In the whole game on Saturday, I didn't think we were going to lose the game. Like, I thought the players had the same buzz as we did. You know, we got some good new signings. We got, you know, you look at them and you go, you know, the left back and the right back look solid, and Dembele looks great. The Japanese kid came on, and that touch he
was incredible.
Yeah, it looks exciting.
He's unreal. You know, it's just exciting again. Exciting times just to sit and watch the games. Like, I'm excited to watch tomorrow's game, even though it's a cup game away at Cheltenham. Ready for it.
Yeah. Why not go for a little cup run? You know.
Seriously. That was good. Exactly. That's a good segue into the game, I suppose, Craig. What are people's thoughts on the game Saturday?
I mean, I'll start off by saying I didn't see the game because my sister was getting married, but I've caught the highlights, and obviously I did get a chance to see the goal, and ultimately for me, which was a small mistake that led to the equaliser. But
they took it well, though, Craig.
They did, and you know, the one thing is, it's the start of the season. You know, there's not one team that for me actually looks outstanding. You know, across all of them that I've seen the games of over the weekend. But it is the first time that anybody's kicked the ball in anger, so it doesn't really kick in just yet.
It takes a good 10 games to get going.
Yeah, hard to take away though the fact that, you know, we did start 8 players that we didn't have last season in our team, so
just unreal.
That's some going.
Birmingham City support. That's it. You know, so we've had a proper clean out, right? And we bought quality. Look at Dembele.
Yeah, I know.
My goodness me! I looked at him and I thought, "Woo!
Yeah,
almost as fit as me, mate."
I think the nice thing as well was, and we've had this conversation in the past on the show, is that all of these players now are our own players. You know, we're not dealing with loan players anymore and worried about the fact that they're going to go back to their parent clubs.
Yeah, massive.
No.
And let's not. You know, let's not forget, I think we will have loan players coming in. And, you know, we've got 5 players that we can have in our squad at any time that can be on loan. And as a club, we haven't got this bottomless pit of money. We're still up against financial fair play rules that we have to stick to. So, yes, we've got some big hitters off the wages. However, we've bought all these players, so we'd have paid signing on fees, we'd have paid fees, we've got to have paid salaries. So that money isn't this bottomless pit. So I think the loan signings will come. I don't think we could survive the season if we didn't bring in the 5 loanees. But what I firmly believe is that they're going to be of high calibre. We're going to have people that really want to come to us.
Who have we actually got on loan at the moment?
Nobody.
No one.
We've got no one.
No. And how many years have we played with loan players now?
Well, we started the season the past, 5 with loans?
Yeah.
We used to loan the corner flags, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I do think that we will have to get a goalkeeper on loan if it's true that Ruddy's going to go to Luton, which it looks that way. Then I think we may get a season-long loan for a goalkeeper, which again we may have to do that anyway. Average for me can go out and play there. We can get a goalkeeper for the bench, but I think if you're going to get a first-choice goalie at this point of the season, it's going to have to be someone on loan.
Ruddy, in my opinion, is better than Average, without a doubt, right? And you saw some of the saves and the stop. He's a brilliant shot stopper. And I think he would be better off staying with Birmingham City with what's going on.
He's only got, though, I mean, arguably, he's signed that extra year with us. So he's only got a year left on his contract. So if the club are being offered the money that, today has been spoken about.
For a 37-year-old.
For a 37-year-old, £750,000. For somebody that's there with 12 months left, then actually,
it's a no-brainer.
As much as I don't want him to go, it is an absolute no-brainer.
And for him, last year of his career in the Premier League as well.
Exactly, Mark. That's it.
I get it, Mark. I get it. But, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, look, I understand what you're saying, because he's not going to be with us forever, is he? So he's not going to see this project through unless he becomes a goalkeeper coach.
But I mean, Mike
Taylor out of the job.
Yeah, Mike Taylor.
37 and chance of playing the Premier League. I mean, it's a move that's come out of the blue, hasn't it? Nobody saw this coming, and probably for a better wage as well. It's no brainer. You phone Chong.
If he does, I would genuinely like to offer him all the very best and a real serious thank you for his services, because he's been absolutely superb for us.
Brilliant.
He really has.
Was it like 14 clean sheets?
Nothing as good as that, Mark, and that worries me a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Etheridge, Jaycock, he's no better than Truman in my own humble opinion. The few games he hasn't, bit unfair to him under the book. Oh yeah, Lee Camp, yeah.
I think we've still got to see. Etheridge for me he is actually a fantastic goalkeeper. Let's not forget. He was well up there when he joined the club, which is why he's one of the top earners still with us. And I look at the FA Cup last year when he was making those saves against. I know it was against Forest Green, but they were world class. There was that one world class save. Absolutely. So he can do it. He's got to come in, and I think he'll play tomorrow. There's no doubt in it. He'll play tomorrow. I think he will. Yeah. And he's got an opportunity, to say, if you go and get somebody else, they're going to be behind me. I don't want somebody coming in front of me.
He has to put
I
down,
want my position.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
I think you have to remember with Etheridge that he was in a very, very poorly man a couple of years ago, and it took him a year and a bit to really get match fit.
Yeah.
What was up with him, Alan?
He was on literally on death's door.
Yeah,
he was.
Now he's fully grown and back at it.
Oh yeah,
and sorry, Ali, he's had a couple of nasty injuries on the pitch as well. At Forest and at Stoke, he had some nasty whacks. So, yeah,
I'd be quite happy to see him in goal for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
obviously we but you're right. We need a number 2 better than what would have at the moment.
Yeah.
You need a second player for every position, and we're not far off it. I know we lost Chong, but because of Chong, I feel like we got led. And what a signing so far he has been. He's stood out. The other guys perhaps haven't stood out as much, but it's arguably because he's just got that. His persona makes him stand out.
Infectious, isn't he? He's
infectious. That's a great word to use for him. He is just you want to follow him no matter where he is. And Claire said during pre-season he was there, but he wasn't just about the player that he was on the pitch, but it was what he brought with him. The fact that everybody knew him. He had a laugh and a joke with people, and that's still to come out, I think.
Yeah, I like Anderson. I think Anderson's been a really good one. Coming from trialist to where he is, I think.
Yeah. Was anybody else a bit shocked to see Cosgrove on the bench? Because he must have been kept in a fridge or something and just brought out for.
I nearly fell over.
It's a strange one. I think he might be gone again before the.
Got to be for the shop window, hasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, no other reason.
He's had no pre-season, and it's just to be on the bench like that. That was
I think
a shock.
he's going to find his level a little bit lower, the same as like Lecco. Lecco got 2 goals on the weekend.
Yeah.
I think easy level for sure.
Yeah.
I think people getting carried away, Mark. I mean, I remember last pre-season he scored at Burton, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's the replacement for Dukey and all the rest of it." But he's a League One player. I mean, people say he hasn't had a chance, but he was out on loan at Shrewsbury, didn't pull up any trees. He was out at Wimbledon, didn't do a lot.
When he went to Plymouth, he proved he could score 2 goals in that league. But once they got promoted, they didn't even look.
They didn't want to know.
They didn't even look to him.
Yeah. So wish him well, but he just.
Well, there you go. We've just got a measly 30 minutes of the show left, ladies and gentlemen.
Crazy,
Cannot believe an hour has gone already. So we're now going to have a chat about the game on Saturday. Who shone, who needs polishing, etc., etc., etc. Who was there? Any of us? Any of us there? I wasn't.
No. I think we have briefly touched on the game, haven't we?
We have, but I'm asking now, who stood out and who kind of didn't.
It's fair to the reports. I mean, the first thing is Laird made the EFL team of the week. So, and for the hour that he gave us, considering this guy's been injured, he declared himself fit for this game and he played those 60 minutes.
Yeah.
He 60 minutes and he gets in the best team in the league shows you straight away that he has shone. But I don't think, and again only from the highlights and from what I've heard from people that did go, I don't think there was one player that really let us down. In fact, one that has really stood out in terms of comments that I've seen across our message board was Long. And they said he was absolutely superb in that centre position. And, we want that to continue being that particular way.
Well, I thought Sunich was finished, building up to get pre-season, but he's, by all accounts, he's been right in the thick of it. So
what maybe it's absolute joy, Mark, to see that bloke taken out of hell.
Mark took the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say Sunich. I think he deserves a lot of credit for coming back, and even in pre-season, he's just proved himself. And it's difficult because I'm not a big believer in 2 defensive midfielders in the centre with him and Bellick. And for me, Bellick would get over him. But I don't think it worked too bad, especially if you've got 2 really good attacking wingers. I think you can get away with it, but. I don't know. I think if it was for me, if I was picking a team, another 11, it wouldn't be Sunich still. It would be Bellick with one of the others, Bakuna or James or someone like that who's a little bit more attack-minded.
Shows the strength of our squads when you have people like, our teams, when you look at last season and who was starting and they're on the bench. Bakuna sitting on the bench. Who would have thought that he would be outplaced by Sunich across the midfield areas? You couldn't see it, but it shows that they must be doing something for the manager to pick them, and perhaps Bakuna's not as fit as the others. Let's not forget he was away
for a lot of
that international. So
just a question for you guys and you, Craig, because you're talking. Do you think the Sunich one? I know, listen, I'm first to say Sunich has proved himself to be in there over pre-season, but do you think a lot of it's to do with him being like the highest earner as well? We talk about the wages. If he's paying crazy amounts of money for him, and they've already said that if he gets an offer for him in this window, he'd probably still leave. Yep. You think that the highest, being an highest earner, pushes him a little bit to the front as well, just because of the situation we're in?
I think he puts him in the shop window, definitely. The same for me is, out of all the goalkeepers, I actually thought Etheridge would go. For that very same reason. Yes, he's in the shop window. I don't think actually we could say any of our players that were in last year's squad are not in the window now. We'd probably even listen to offers for Djukovic if they came along, much as I don't want that to happen.
Yeah. Everything's sellable, Craig. Everything's sellable.
Exactly. Everybody's got a price, and we are still balancing the books.
We are.
But,
even I've got a price, mate. It's about £3.17.
No, it's just gone down in value.
All right. I'm not on the market.
The market's changing all the time.
This is. Sonic, if he could be the player that when we signed him, the type of player that he was and the way he was arguably one of the best youngsters in Europe when we signed him. That's why we paid the money that we did.
Yeah.
And if we could get him back to as he was, and people compared him at the time to Modric, that's how good he was standing out in Europe. So if we could get 50-60% of that at the moment, then he is going to put himself out there to be gone. But also makes the club think, do we really want to get rid now? Do they just say, no, well, sorry, not going anywhere in the summer, but we'll see what happens in the winter if, depending on how things are going, because we all know what that winter window's like. Everything inflates in price.
Yeah.
So we just see how things are going, but he's earned his shot, and we've just got to stick by him now. And the fact is, the fans that turn up on Saturday into every home game back those boys in blue, no matter what. It's
win, lose or draw.
Exactly. Yeah. We're going to have good times. We're definitely going to have bad. But don't fall away back into the hill, because they need it, and we'll go on the journey with them.
Yeah.
Well, anybody confirm that we've still got poker pies at St Andrews and we're not going to have a Red Lobster or
no, we still don't. Yeah.
We'll find out on Saturday.
Popcorn and nachos now, it's been changed.
Nachos, yeah.
I was going to say, going back to the playing staff wise, I mean, we're still a bit light up front and we're still a bit light at the back with Roberts being out for another few weeks, aren't we?
Yeah.
Is Roberts injured? Yeah, is he?
Another 3 weeks he's going to be out for.
Okay.
So we're down to our last two centre back. Which we'll
have two international breaks now between them.
But
I think watching about an hour of the game for various reasons. But the back four, when I saw that on paper, I thought, that'll do me. Them's the right blokes to have in that back four. And the two fullbacks were outstanding. I like Buchanan a lot. Good left foot, proper left back. Not a left this and a left that and the other. And he's a proper left back who can play football. And the other guy, it did worry me. Having seen what happened at Peterborough the week before down that right-hand side, as soon as he went off, I'm thinking, we're going to have some troubles here. But fair play to young Oakley. He was caught out with the goal. I don't think that was his fault. But for the first 10 or 15 minutes he was on the field, he was up and down that line like a literally blue-ass fly. Wonderful. And he played some great balls in, and he really looked the part. And it was so unfortunate that he got him and Sunic got caught out by the loss of the possession right in the centre circle, and a great ball, left us for dead, really. But yes, I like that back four. The only problem is we haven't got the best of replacements, have we?
No.
Who's going to play left back if he gets injured? Who's going to play right back? Who's going to play centre half? Tomorrow night, we probably won't be able to do it now. We would have probably changed all four of them tomorrow and had four, but we haven't got them. We haven't got them. So they'll have to play again. But yeah, to me, the oppositions don't score, I'm happy. If we score more than one goal, I'm happy. But I'd like to see that nil against the opposition's name as often as possible.
I mean, going back to the playing staff as well, Al, I mean, the one thing that shocked me, again, a couple of weeks ago or last week was Nico Gordon just going out into non-league.
Well, it does seem a bit strange. I could have understood if it was Campbell, but not Nico. No, I mean we were trying
his
to
weight. Yeah, he's.
I think we sent off that, didn't he?
Yeah,
he got sent off. Yeah,
I think with that one, he's coming back from a big injury, so he didn't play most of the year last year anyway. And I don't think he's ready just to go straight into our team.
No.
So I think it would have been an idea of sending him out there to get more game experience at that level. In an eye of, right, let's bring him back in 12 months' time, and then he may be back to where he was, because he's missed a young kid, and he's missed a year. You know,
I say, obviously his fitness is not going to be there, is it?
Yeah, no, and he's not going to be the replacement right now. There's no way. So
I honestly thought he could do a job for League One, League Two, but
maybe I don't know. Maybe he just wanted to stay
get a
local.
good opportunity in the Moors, though. He'll get a really good opportunity. You know, they're an up and coming club as well. I mean, they're really pushing to get out of that league, and we've got a good reputation as a club. Not only because their owner's obviously a massive Blues fan, anyhow, but overall we've got this good setup with them and relationship. The under 21s are going to be playing under 23s. Sorry, not 21s. Can't say that anymore. But they're going to be playing at the Moors, aren't they, instead of St Andrews for some of the games and stuff. So. It's a good opportunity for him, and the other thing is, the fact he'll stand out. I think if he gets going the way that he was in that young Birmingham side.
I think it means he can still train with Blues as well a little bit, because it's a non-league. With it being Solihull and then Birmingham, and being non-league, I think he can still be around the training ground at Blues as well at times when he needs to be.
And we've spoken a lot there about the men's, but. Let's also not forget the huge turnaround and work that's gone on with our ladies team, and firstly today the announcement of Harriet Scott making the decision to retire. I wish her well with everything that she's going on to do. Our NHS is huge. Football should never come in between that and the love of the job that she wants to do. And so, congratulations and thank you for everything Harriet did at the club. Good luck with her new role. But Darren Carter and now Hope Pell are going to be building our women's team for the future. So, and my God, we think the men's exciting times, but actually I can't wait to go and watch the ladies play, because I think we're going to, we could follow on from last season, where we had those games unbeaten at the end and only missed out just on the title. It's go hell for leather for that this year and get ourselves back into the WSL.
That was some coup. That was some coup getting Hope, wasn't it? Really, for the ladies.
Absolutely.
I mean, even people who don't follow,
she set up the ladies, and the people tend to forget because she's not been there a while. But the ladies for England, the structure that they have in place now was put in place by Hope Pell. It was, again, grassroots moving up through the different areas, making sure that the teams were stable throughout, that everybody was present, and ultimately putting us in a position like, today, congratulations to the Lionesses, down to 10 men, but we that never say die attitude. We went and won on penalties. They could win the World Cup. It's simple now. Mark, close your ears, but the States going out was just joyful for me. But it gives us an opportunity now to really stand out, and the ladies team is going to go from strength to strength. They've made some great signings. They're bringing people back that have also played for the club in the past, so they again know what the club's about. And exciting times for Darren and the rest of the crew.
Absolutely. Don't want to interrupt you guys, but Bo the Cat has decided to make a appearance. She was confused a little bit earlier, ladies and gents, and obviously didn't realise that the Tilton Talk Show was on tonight, like I thought it was on last week. But there she is, Bo the Cat. Yay! She's gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now filled the four corners. We're going for a full house.
I got two right now. I got Christmas Day and I got a cat.
You missed Goosebumps.
Do I win a prize or not?
Just don't talk about baths and sinks.
Yeah. Proper pies, yeah.
Actually, baths and sinks. We're getting hot water at St Andrews, Mark. How do you feel?
Yeah, I know, yeah. How good's that? That's it. I'm gonna have a bath on Saturday.
What, at St Andrews?
I'm going to come and watch. I mean, I don't mean like that.
Mark,
Watch like.
Mark.
Yeah.
Which one?
Make sure you shut the door.
No. Yeah, I'll wear my shower cap. Don't worry.
Oh my God. Jeez.
Just before we go into the last 15, which we always know is going to be good fun, for those that follow our social streams, you will see that there's a lot of things posted that have been about the club, but also a lot of help and support for people and areas where we get to vent, but also having friends around and do different stuff. Well, one of our great listeners, followers, Lilypad, has continued with her poems. There's one that particularly at the moment resonates really well, which I'll read it out now, but if those that haven't seen it, I will post it as well on our socials after this. It's just called Blue Noses. And it's a home full of blue noses where our voices are heard. A place in a city where we all go to a church. Walk past the pubs as we go up to the gates. The fellowship of friends and the atmosphere is great. On Saturdays or weekdays, we never let up. We're all coming together to watch football at the club we love. Birmingham is our home. Blue is our blood. And Keep Right On is always sung in matches, now all around the world. So as each letter is wrote and each syllable is spoke, each heart beats a bit faster because our passion is fierce. And inside your feeling, the ground bounce. But this is a new era with Wagner & Co. This is Birmingham City, a home that is proud to finally be able to breathe a sigh of relief and stand together with our other noses or sit in our seats. So to end on a high, thanks for giving it a read. God bless all Blue Noses and KRO to the end. I think that it's a wicked poem, and I'd love the club to publish this, and we do have people watching and listening, so please, if there's anything we can do to get that published in one of our programs, it would be absolutely amazing because it sums up how we're all feeling at the moment.
Superb. Yeah. Okay, ladies and gents, if you know of anybody within our Birmingham City community that is struggling with anything, you can very, very easily get in touch with any of us. Completely and utterly confidentiality is absolute. And we will, without naming names, do anything we can for any of our supporters who needs help. That's a brilliant reason why we do this show. We went all through COVID. We have got nothing to talk about, but we talked about everything, right? But if you know of somebody that needs help, please just privately message any of us, right? And we have a group on Messenger, which is just us guys, right? And we will put it on there. Nothing will ever go any further than that message board or back to you or back to the person who is asking for help or somebody else, right? This is what our community is. This is what a family is. This is what a football club is. Yeah, we all help each other, and times are very, very difficult at the moment, right? So please, if you know somebody that is really properly struggling, get in touch.
I've mentioned the Australian supporters group, by the way, and I should say, and apologies for missing this earlier, but huge special mention to Dave Taylor, Joe Edwards and John Birch, who have worked with Grant Megan behind the scenes and done an awful lot to promote us down under. And hopefully some of these guys will get an opportunity to come over. I believe actually Grant is hoping to come over at Christmas. So, if you're there and you're coming over, give us a shout. We'll go for a beer. We'll make sure that we catch up.
Come in the studio.
And I should also say hi, Chris from Svenka Blues, who I had the privilege of meeting last week down at St Andrews, and what a top-notch guy he is.
Svenka Blues.
But believe me, we will not be drinking Foster's Lager.
No. I'll tell you what, Craig. If they come into the studio, I'll get my nuts out.
No. Okay, we are into the last 15 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And because we have this massive change that's happened within our club over the last few months.
Hang on,
anything American and football, anything American and football. I'm going to start you off with Birmingham, Alabama.
So, just before we go on, did anybody brief Nick on what we were actually...
Your microphone's gone, mate.
Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you now, and I know exactly what you're going to say, Chris. Did anybody brief Nick on what we was actually going to do for
last 15? Yeah. See, he's got to join these pre-meetings that we have.
Absolutely, your microphone's terrible. Okay.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I can hear myself. Okay. 1 2 1 2 2 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 2.
That's better.
There you go.
Oh, okay. So nobody briefed Nick at all on the last 15.
No, he's not joined us, and it's sackable offence, that isn't it, Chris?
Yeah.
So Craig, last 15.
So Nick, I hate to change it from the USA, but we're in the middle of the happy holiday season, and we've just come back off our holiday break for the show.
What do you mean you hate to change it? You hate to change it while you're smiling and laughing. You nasty individual.
So their last 15 is actually anything to do with football, holidays, and that can include anything to do with travelling to holidays, areas you go on holiday.
Birmingham, Alabama.
Drinks whilst you're on holiday. So far away, anything to do with holidays and football.
Like Gary Breen.
You can brief me next week, please, because this was very unprofessional.
Well, you should attend the meetings.
Oh, I can't. Look, there's about 37 Facebook messenger pages. There's 7 or 8 on WhatsApp. I can't keep up with it all.
Yeah, but ours is important.
Sharon says I'm getting old. Sharon's now lying on the floor bleeding profusely. Oh, Sharon's dead.
So I'm going to give you a few that have been passed our way by now, if he is listening, and I'm doubting it very much because he's probably comatose with alcohol, Mr. Sheen, who sent us a few earlier on with strawberry daiquiri. Nick, just for you, he said, Dealey had a mojito.
Okay, I'm not even inspired.
No, what about Obafemi Martino?
I said that one.
That's alcohol, but it's like...
Alcohol and it's cocktails, isn't it? You see, it's cocktails and holidays.
Cocktail season.
We'll go with holidays. Then he did. We've also had Jordan Rhodes from a certain Mr. Robe.
That's good on that is.
Tenerife Fahy, which I really think was going too far, and that is a whack oops on that particular front.
That's bloody brilliant, that is. Who said that?
Linda Magnat, I like the Phil Summerhill. Very good.
Yeah.
Nigel Mann, you cannot have hotter chocolate. It's too early. Can't have them. Not during
that's for the winter.
Mark Brooks with Bernard Sunshine.
Yeah.
Or in the case of our summer, lack of Bernard Sunshine.
Yeah.
Pat Fanning's I had to read twice.
What about Airport Vale? Airport Vale.
Yeah, I like that one. No, I like that one.
How did they get on Saturday, Port Vale?
Yeah. Well, they hit 7 the weekend.
Yeah, 7-0, wasn't it?
Paul McCarthy, that's very good. Weymouth Rooney.
Weymouth Rooney.
Deliani's bikini.
Brett Stanley, Tim Windbreaker.
Here's one for England. Are you ready? Cloudy and rainy.
That's actually quite good.
That's not bad. Yeah,
wow.
I've waited 10 years to do that one.
I think Sharon's passed that one over to you.
Michael Woods is doing a play on words. Instead of having Cafu for Brazil, you could have Corfu instead.
Corfu, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Okay, so who said Aston Villa? Oh, God, I just said myself. Somebody did.
You do.
Who
Who said
did
that?
say that?
True
We need to
story,
rewind
true
that one
story.
and find out, you know.
I'll just rewind it.
Great
Hang on.
story coming up.
Kenny Sunburns.
I'll get it.
Yeah.
Right, true story coming up very quickly. We were in Birmingham yesterday. An old Shazza wanted to find a Max Spielman. The nearest one to the bowling was 1.6 miles away in a village up the road. And I would not go.
Wasn't there one off Colmorrow? There used to be,
Sorry?
isn't there? There's a Max Spielman by Colmorrow, isn't there?
Apparently not, no more.
Right, okay.
Anyway, back to the
Back to the things. We've got Nigel Mann with Ollie Gunner, Sun or a Shower. We've also got Pete Taylor, Costa del Sol Campbell. Clever.
Robbie
What
Flake
about
is
Peel
good.
Etheridge? Peel.
Yeah.
campsite.
Yeah, no, we heard you, Mark. We just thought it was so rubbish that we just didn't want to reply.
Yeah, we just chose not to read it out.
Yeah.
Tim Faraday, good afternoon, our welcome, our actor friend.
Actor.
And he has come up with knotted handicides.
Okay.
We've got Robbie Flake,
I like the Robbie Flake one, yeah.
Pete Taylor with Caravan Nisselroy.
Okay.
I'm not sure about Peter Shirtliff off.
I'm also not sure about Adam Wilkins. Adam Wilkes is one of Southend on Seaman.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Hang on. I've got a special thing for things like that as well.
What about?
Bucket and Spade Elliott, which is rather in line
That's a
with
good one.
tomorrow's night's game as well.
I'm just not
Obviously
sure
been up
about
against Wade
Adam.
and his team.
I'm just not sure about Adam Wilkes now.
Lily Pad must be thinking about people wearing thongs because she said Nicky burnt buttocks.
Yeah. She's thinking of me, you see. She's thinking of me. Obviously.
Pete Taylor, Gary Speedos.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a brilliant one.
Very clever.
What about
Michael
Dean Peer?
Woods, I refuse to read out the name or surname. First name is Ricky. I'll let everybody else try and figure out what the last one was.
Hey?
Yeah,
No.
Michael Woods.
Otto.
Vile.
Yeah. It is. It's that place that's not a hotel or a caravan, but it's a house abroad. Yeah. Don't want to say the word.
It's a bungalow.
That's the only
So, of course, because
reason.
they got nothing up top.
I promise you, right, I've been to most countries in Europe. That's the only reason I'm not going to Portugal.
Can I quickly say hello to BCFC Ireland? First time watching and not long. It's good
Chris, go backwards a bit again.
It's
sorry.
good. It's your ears. It's good to hear all your opinions. Can you tell me when and what times you stream? So we stream every Monday during the season at 6:30 p.m. and we're available as a podcast from Tuesday onwards. Hello from Perth, Western Australia. Keep right on, Australian Birmingham City Supporters Club, and that's
Keep
Grant.
right on, mate.
Here we go.
That kangaroo and your can of Foster's lager.
It's a great American accent, not it?
Oh, it's quite
Oh,
impressive. Is that
sorry.
Dallas accent, Nick?
Sound like an American sort of like who's lived in Smethwick and then moved on to a Utoxter.
So a few others, Nick. We've got Ihas deck chair. Maybe not with that one. We've got Dean Peer.
Yeah.
I like that one.
That was
Yeah,
Mark.
yeah,
That was
yeah,
Mark's.
clever.
That was Mark's.
Michelle.
Who did that? No, I
Platina.
want to know who did the Dean Peer one because someone's
Dean
actually
Peer.
thought about
That was Paul Lilly.
Paul Lilly. Well done.
Pinched off
Four
Mark,
out of 10.
obviously.
Pete Taylor. Deli Belly Alley.
Should we do predictions for tomorrow?
Yes, I think we got 5 minutes left.
5 minutes, yes, why not?
Okey-dokey.
Can I say 2? I think we'll win 2-1 tomorrow and 2-1 on Saturday.
Really?
Well, I hope your wishes come true, Mark. I'll be honest with you because that would be
2-2
real
ones,
good.
yeah.
That would be good. That would be good. Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, right, okay. We've got to win tomorrow night against Cheltenham, for goodness sake. That's like a given. We've got to win tomorrow. So I'm going to go 3-0 tomorrow and then 2-0 Saturday.
Okay, Mark in Texas.
I'm going to go 2-0 tomorrow, and I'm going to go 2-1 Saturday to Blues.
Go on, Alan.
1-1 Saturday, 2-0 tomorrow.
Craigie?
I'm going to go for just a sole 1-0 tomorrow, and I think it'll be 2-1 on Saturday. And I've got to say, when it comes to Saturday, by the way, I am so looking forward to getting back into the ground. And now that Nick's disappeared, I can say it even more. The street food is back, and I am looking forward to my Garrison coffee, because they are going to have the Wagner blend, which I've already bought some of it, and it's gorgeous, so I can't wait to have some more of that. So looking forward to catching up with people again on Saturday.
Yeah.
I'll go for a couple of 2-1s.
Yeah, same as me.
There's quite a few people actually put 2-1. Just briefly going back, and without trying to put a dampener on things, what will the owners regard as a failure this season, apart from relegation? What are they? What do we think they're looking for this season?
I think they're looking at sort of mid-table. I think if we had another sort of 16th place, well, dare I say, I think if we are sort of in the lower reaches towards Christmas, sort of 15th, 16th, I think they might get a bit twitchy with regards to Mr. Eustace.
But surely that can't be in their psyche. Mid-table, they've got to be thinking.
No, better. I mean long term, they want to go into the Premier League.
This season, first season in charge.
First season charge. That's the thing. We'd all take mid-table.
We would,
They?
Would they? Yeah.
I think what I sensed from the Gary Cook interview was that they would. I think they're for me, a negative on this season would be, for me, just purely the fans not returning. And them not getting that. Perhaps if they let themselves down by not doing what they have started off by saying they're going to do. So, the fan experience and drawing people back in, if that didn't happen, they might construe that as a failure. On the field, I agree with Mark, mid-table.
I think the creation of interest, get the crowds back, get the interest back, operate at a level in the league that keeps that interest, anywhere between 6 and 10. So we just, pick up, we've only 3 points off the play, it's only 6 points off the play, whatever, not looking down, we're six points clear of relegation. We don't want to be doing that. We want to create a positive interest. And as long as we're competing at that level, I think that's, we've got to create an interest. If we can sell out every week, that would be a success, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I've got to say, Craig, just going back to that interview, Craig, with Gary Cook, what a fantastic interview that was.
It was brilliant. Yes. And don't get me wrong, you could tell some of it was scripted.
Of course.
By the way, and you expect that to a certain degree. But the thing I love was it was coming from a Blues fan, and you could, everything he was saying resonated with you as a fan as well. So you could tell that he has the club at heart and the passion to take things forward. And I guess actually, we've mentioned what would be construed as failure, but Mr. Meredith, when it comes to being out in the States, what do they construe as failure? Is it just not succeeding, or how what would they, do you think, say this is wrong, this is not working?
Difficult to say, really. I think it would be. I think they're obviously coming in for success, but we're also dealing on a totally different money thing. We look at it and we go, "What was we $2.5 million in debt or something?" To these people that we're dealing with, it's pennies. We're looking at billions and billions of dollars that they have, and that's American dollars. So you transfer that into English, and that's even more. So I think, I don't think 2.5 million or whatever it was exactly is a massive loss to them straight away to pay the debt off. But I also think that, and like what we talked about earlier in the show, I think it's not just a football club for them. It's getting the city back to where it should be, and using that second biggest city in the UK to be back on the map. I think if he gets a new stadium that they've talked about before, and then there'll be different things at the stadium, concerts and things like that. I think it's it's more of an investment that they're going to do over a number of years to the whole city than it is just to the football club.
Can I ask you, Mark? Do you reckon that we'll be looking at sort of bringing NFL teams over to have games eventually, like they do at Wembley?
Of course it will.
Yeah, I think that at some point, obviously they use Tottenham a lot now. At some point now, with obviously Tom Brady's links, there's going to be different things. I do think that we're going to get Blues coming over here for preseason, which will be massive.
Absolutely.
And also, I think you're going to get a lot more. I know I've already had messages of a couple of people in America about bringing in American supporters clubs and stuff like that, which we've never had before. So, there's people that's in the works now about having unofficial Birmingham supporters clubs here in the States. So it's definitely starting, and it's starting slowly, obviously, but I think in the next year or so, it's going to be a big name.
Nick, we got 30 seconds and we're offline.
Hey, where's that hour and a half gone? Ladies and gents, girls and boys, season 13 of the Tilton Talk Show. Season 13, that is incredible. 13 years I've known you, Chris. I don't know what to say.
You don't even remember one of them.
No, he honestly is the most loveliest man in the world.
Yeah, I am, yeah.
However, I'm a little bit disappointed that you didn't go through with your promise with your beard. You were going to shave it off until was it we would 1-3 on the trot or something?
10, and that's never happened, has it?
But Nick, we are working towards Christmas, so come on, he's got to grow it.
Lovely word, Craig. My birthday. Lovely word. I won't mention it ever again until December.
I think it's time to bring the music in.
Mark Meredith, all the way from the United States of America. God bless you, my friend. God bless America. God bless the Wagner Group. God bless Tom. God bless everybody, mate, because I tell you what, this is the moment of change. It's a moment of change, and I really believe in it. Thanks ever so much, Mark, for being with us.
Guys. Keep right on. Thank you.
Tom plays football. Tom plays football. Our chairman of the board, Mr. Alan Watto.
Good evening, everyone.
Good night. God bless you, my good friend, and thank you for everything you do. Mark in Coventry. Mark in Coventry.
Have a good week, everybody, and everybody listening. And can't wait for Saturday. Can't wait to do that Saturday.
And of course, one of the names is Craig Courtney.
Good night, everyone. We've had loads of messages on the board. We will go back and review them. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. And here's a great game on Saturday. Keep right on, everyone.
Thanks for everything you do for us as well, Craig. For myself, good night, God bless, take care, and the one and only Mr. Chris Browne.
Well, good evening and goodbye.
There we have it.
Good night.